Troubled waters, peace, be still. Fantasy is about to reveal. Hello, everyone, including flower children's, if you are. My thought today is childhood traumas. Mm, basically, what I'm trying to say, like, if things going on in your life at the age you are between 30 and up, or even 12 and up, and you still trying to find yourself, trying to still figure out what's going on, or why you still in relationships dead end, and relationship with family, friends, um, work related. And I realized that I had found out that when I look at these tutorials on YouTube and they say, oh, you need to go back to your childhood. Look at your childhood. They always say, look at your childhood. And I always looked at my childhood and always picked out the good parts and never shared the bad parts about my childhood with others. Just say, oh, I remember my mom bought this, or um, the things she did for me and my dad, but I never exposed the bad part. And that's what people are saying, um, just to move forward in your life and where you stuck at. Go back to your childhood. So I did. And not besides my family, my my family, that my cousins that witnessed me growing up as well, and what I was surrounded with my parents. It was very dysfunctional, and I became how it's a book called Manchild. I became a woman child at a very young age. Man-child is dealing with, and you should read this book, Man-child. It's dealing with a little boy that became a man early on, living in New York City when um, people start immigrating from Mississippi and leaving Mississippi to go to New York, major cities, because Mississippi was so racist and hanging people, and the KKK was so heavy down there, and they always quote said all the scared niggas ran, but a lot of people, black people, was migrating to the cities because it was they had this advertisement saying like, oh, um, they had running water, toilets, um, things like that in that nature. Because in Mississippi, you had to go to an outhouse from the house just to use washroom. They like, ooh, they got water in the house, and they got this and that. Ooh, that's the promised land. That was the promised land, and everybody ran there. And that was what man child was consisted of, because when we got to migrate in that type of new world, so to speak, that it was new, but they didn't tell you that it was going to be full of drugs, people out there hustling, and heroin addicts, alcohol, you know, and that you're going to be living on top of each other in buildings. So, um, to go back to say about childhood trauma, um, I was that child, that woman child inside that everything was never the way it seemed, you know. And looking back at it, I dealt with a lot of between my parents, alcohol abuse, domestic violence abuse, um, drug abuse, and the only time I really felt peace was when it was no consumption of that between my parents. My mother never used drugs, but she did drink. My dad did both and was violent towards my mother, to the point that I had to watch over my mom as a little girl at the age of 5 and 6, you know, calling my aunt, her sister, saying, you know, and knew the number. They would have to come down and try to look at the remedy of what's going on. Her and my aunt and my uncle. But it came to a point I had to be by myself and deal with this at the early stage. See? And when I became a woman, I noticed that I would always attract dominant men in my life. They either did some type of drug or, you know, drink or whatever, and I was drinking, or, you know, it coincided with that. And I'm wondering why I'm such a good person, you know, and then, you know, you get later in life and say you can't blame the person that's hitting you or what you doing or whatever. It has a lot to go in within yourself. And I realized that. And I said, you know, I can't blame nobody that that person was bad. The reason why he did this to me. It's just like if I blame him, I gotta blame myself. So what I had to do is I had to really seek that soul search and go into the inner child that was traumatized, and came to a conclusion that this is why you're dealing with this at the age I am at now, and experiencing, and had to stop it all and say no, no, no more. And that's what some of you will have to do. It's not what you're going through now. Look back at their childhood. Some kids at their childhood, and I really want to express this, that parents did the most and spoiled them. See, I'm an only child, and they just assume I was spoiled because I'm an only child. But that's not the case. See, excuse me, only children is very creative, have imagination. See, I had an escape route in my mind. I used to escape. But think about the child that had everything. Two parents in the home, and to the point that they were so spoiled till they got rotten. It's a reason why they say spoiled rotten. That now you in that personality that when you at the age you are in, that you deserve the best. No matter how many people you hurt, you have that mindset that everybody else gave me everything. You should give me everything no matter how I treat you. See, that is abuse as well. Just being spoiled and getting everything you want without no, when you do bad, without no repercussions. Because the parents in that spoiled relationship never showed you empathy or love when you needed it most. Instead of getting gifts and this and that and doing, you know, but maybe in that stage you just wanted, just to be touched or loved, or like you hurt and cuddled or whatever when you needed the most. It still goes back to childhood. So my thought is, look at your childhood to move forward in your life. See what's going on in that childhood trauma, or when you start seeing things differently, it always goes back to your childhood. Trust me. I didn't want to go there, but I did. Because I wanted to live, I wanted to move forward in my life and to be the best version I can be right now. So just take that and please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, Fantasy Rosalina. Peace be still. I'm trying to tell you, fantasy will reveal. Take care. Bye.